3 Real Madrid Galacticos projects destroyed by one Barcelona player. Here's the story. After the 2024-25 season ended not according to plan, Real Madrid seems to have missed its greatness. Now, Florentino Perez and his staff are preparing to launch a new chapter of the team's ambitious project, Galacticos Volume 3. This project will center on their mainstay striker, Kylian Mbappe. Like the solar system, Mbappe will be the sun. When he becomes the axis, Madrid management will add several star players to surround him next season. At least 2 players have already been agreed to. They are Trent Alexander-Arnold and Huijsen. Other big names are reportedly coming soon. However, Madrid must not ignore the threat that will come in the form of Barcelona. Because historically, Barca always has an anti-climax potion for the Galacticos project. The funny thing is, Barca doesn't need many expensive players for that. La Blaugrana only needs one player. Yes, one player to destroy El Real's hundreds of million euro project. Barca's win streak. In the last few decades, Barcelona has always been able to make things difficult for Real Madrid in domestic competitions. This season could perhaps be a small example of how Madrid was overwhelmed by the fierce La Blaugrana. Madrid, who had just established its dynasty in Europe, was actually defeated many times by its eternal rival. In every El Clásico that was presented, even though Madrid appeared with a lineup of stars and magnificent spotlights, it was Barcelona who managed to steal the attention. Hansi Flick's squad showed their courage, creativity, and consistency on the battlefield. In the hands of the German coach, Barca played with a fast rhythm but remained structured. Meanwhile, Madrid, although filled with talent, looks like a giant that occasionally loses its way. For the Bernabeu public, these defeats after defeats are felt not only as the results of the match, but as small wounds that are continuously sprinkled with salt by the culés. Small, but the pain is there. How can you stand it? Madrid builds Galacticos 1. Real Madrid, who are always thirsty for affection and achievement, continue to strive to be the best of the best. One of the most successful methods is called the Galacticos project. This project is an ambitious philosophy carried out by the club to form a team filled with world stars. Starting in the era of Florentino Perez's leadership in the early 2000s, this concept involves the purchase of iconic players in the world, such as Iker Casillas, Zinedine Zidane, Ronaldo Nazario, David Beckham, to Luis Figo, who are not only known for their technical quality, but also their market appeal and cultural influence. These names are not always obtained at a cheap price. Zidane, for example, when other clubs were only able to spend no more than 30 to 40 million euros in the transfer market, Madrid innocently broke the limit. The French midfielder was bought for 77 million euros from Juventus in 2001. This figure made Zidane the most expensive footballer in the world at that time. When the star players came together, Madrid began to establish themselves as the strongest team in Europe. The 2001-02 Champions League was immediately brought home. A year later, it was the turn of the 2002-03 La Liga title that was won. Trophies became commonplace for the Galacticos squad at that time. Madrid's dominance broken. When Real Madrid began to enjoy glory in the spotlight from various parts of the world, Barcelona, who had never been favored in the fight for the La Liga title, suddenly appeared. Their squad also contained great players, but not as dazzling as Real Madrid's. Although on paper Barcelona's player material was clearly inferior, there was one name that stole the attention. He was Ronaldinho, who had just been brought in from PSG in 2003. Ronaldinho immediately became the main pillar behind the revival of Blaugrana. He not only scored goals and provided assists, but also revived the passion that had faded at Camp Nou. More than that, Ronaldinho brought something that Florentino Perez's Galacticos did not have. Yes, beautiful football, honest football, and playing without the burden of image. After Dinho's arrival, Barcelona changed from a shadow to a leader, displacing Madrid's dominance in an elegant and captivating way. For approximately 5 years in Spain, Ronaldinho managed to lead Barcelona to win 2 Spanish league titles and 1 Champions League title in the 2005-06 season. He even won several individual titles, such as twice being the best player according to FIFA in 2004 and 2005 and 1 Ballon d'Or title in 2005. Meanwhile, Madrid could only watch. They were only able to win La Liga again in the 2006-07 season. Madrid builds Galacticos 2. Seeing Barcelona starting to disrupt Real Madrid's stability, Florentino Perez reactivated the Galacticos Project Volume 2. This project began in the late 2000s. Different from the first volume, which emphasized image and commerciality, the second-generation Galacticos was designed with a more balanced structure between the charm of the stars and the tactical needs of the team. The second Los Galacticos emerged after 2009, marked by the gathering of Karim Benzema, Cristiano Ronaldo, Gareth Bale, James Rodriguez, Luka Modric, and Ángel Di María. The system is the same. Madrid did not hesitate to spend a lot of money to secure the player's signature. Madrid even broke the record for the most expensive player in the world twice when they brought Ronaldo from MU and Bale from Spurs. In addition to those names, Madrid also brought in other handsome and talented players, such as Ricardo Kaká from AC Milan and Xabi Alonso from Liverpool. Not only aiming for global appeal, this project also formed a strong team backbone, with a coach like José Mourinho. Lionel Messi, Madrid's nightmare. By pouring out hundreds of millions of euros in Ronaldinho, who had left Barcelona, Real Madrid hoped to restore the team's identity as a leader in La Liga. Unfortunately, it turned out that Ronaldinho left not without a replacement. At that time, the coach, Pep Guardiola, had matured the talented young talent inherited from Frank Rijkaard, Lionel Messi. The emergence of the tiny figure from Rosario actually became a nightmare for Los Blancos' grand ambitions. Without a fantastic transfer price, Messi came from La Masia quietly. Silent but deadly, on the field, he became an untamable terror, repeatedly tearing through Madrid's defense with speed, vision, and deadly instincts. Every time Madrid added new players and felt they had found the perfect formula, Messi came as a reminder that achievement cannot be bought. However, how failed was the second Galacticos project at that time? Let's take an example from the perspective of Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi's rival at that time. The former Manchester United player defended Real Madrid for 9 years. However, in that short time, Madrid could only win La Liga twice. Meanwhile, in the same time span, Barcelona and Messi managed to win La Liga 6 times. The rest were won by Atletico Madrid. Galacticos 3 versus Lamine Yamal? Having failed to dominate domestic competition twice, Real Madrid refuses to give up on the Galacticos project. Reportedly, Florentino Perez will rebuild Galacticos Volume 3 this summer. They want to perfect the squad that already includes Jude Bellingham, Vinicius, Rudiger, Thibaut Courtois, and Kylian Mbappe. Florentino Perez seems aware that Barcelona already has another prodigy who can disrupt Madrid's efforts. He is Lamine Yamal. His greatness has been tested in the 2024-25 season. This teenage prodigy who graduated from La Masia appears with courage, calmness, and an unusual skill set for his age of only 17. In every meeting against Madrid, Yamal appears like a figure who was born to destroy El Real. The young man with a Spanish passport has actually created chaos in Madrid's defense system this season. In a season that should have belonged to Madrid's magnificent project, it was this wonder kid from Barcelona who stole the spotlight. Just look at it. Yamal has always been involved in the massacre that Barca has carried out on Madrid this season. The player has even scored 3 goals against Los Blancos, worth waiting for. Can Yamal be the potion that dampens the power of Galacticos Volume 3 next season or not?